know you feel it, the burning in your spirit, welling deep inside. You got a beast inside. I know it's hard to tame it, it's harder to explain it. Can't even get a picture, no matter how you frame it. There's so much pressure with all these external stresses, and definitely try to test you. Gotta push them through the feeling, even though your mind is reeling. The power's deep inside and leads you if you were willing. Got the power. Can you feel the power? This is the hour to release your power. Got the power.
Hello, everybody. It has been a minute, but we are back. And who is we? The Power Shut Up podcast is back for season 2. I am excited to be back. I don't know, I'm a little nervous too. We haven't been here since June. We take a break during the summertime because we have family, and it's important that we take a moment to give back to our families. We take 2 breaks actually during the season. During the summer and the winter. So we're going to get it started because come the holidays, I am all about the holidays and celebrating any day. But we are excited to be back with you all for season 2 of the Power of Shut Up podcast. So I wanted to kind of run down what's going to happen for the season for tonight. So this is the first episode, but like we did last season to kick off the whole first season of the Power Shut Up, I actually came on to give you kind of a background of what we're going to be doing all year. And then we have an amazing guest that's coming to join us next week and more amazing guests after that. So before we get started, I wanted to really encourage you all to share with your family and friends. Don't leave though. You can do 2 things at one time, right? Okay. So don't leave, but please share this with your family and friends. Ask them to tune in. We are live on Facebook on our Power Shut Up page, and we're also live on my YouTube channel, Lisa Dove Washington. So let everyone know to go subscribe to the YouTube channel and go find us on Facebook. And then we do show snippets of the show on our TikTok page. So I encourage you all to go follow and subscribe on all those pages. Help us get our numbers up so we can get the message out. So let's get started. I have a little game plan for tonight, and we are even going to do a giveaway because I like doing giveaways. But I like to use this first show to kind of get you all to know who I am and why I'm even doing this, and what our mission is. So, but before we get started, I those who don't know me. So first of all, thank you to those who have continued to support me along the way. I know that I have probably 10 years ago started with being a guest on an in-studio show, the Sean Mason Spence show. And then I actually went on to produce her show. And then we went on to, that was in studio. And then we moved on to Win DC, which was also in studio where I co-hosted a show. And then COVID hit, so we kind of went online, and I had the Luncheon with Lisa show. And then last year we kicked off the Power Shut Up because that is my brand. The Power Shut Up stemmed from me releasing a book in 2019, and that's where we get to the Power Shut Up. But we're going to talk more about that. I just wanted to welcome you all to the room and thank you so much for all your continued support. I see Business Pro out there kicking us off and starting us off right. Season 2, here we go. Thank you so much. I so appreciate those who actually, get a chance to tune in. I know everybody's busy and there's a lot going on, but thank you for giving us this hour. And we're hoping that we'll make a change, and you can take what you get from here, take it on into your weekends and your weeks, and we can start to do better in the area of communication because that is my jam. And welcome to Empowering Perspectives. So glad you're able to tune in. I've met some wonderful people out there in social media, and I'm hoping we could connect because there's also a lot of good people out there doing some good things. So anything that enlightens, empowers, and inspires others is what we're all about right here. So we're gonna give you some more information on how you can be a part of the platform, how we can promote your businesses, your events, your products. So a lot of information over the season, but I'm gonna try to give you a background on what the Power Shut Up podcast is all about. But before we do that, and welcome Lisa Keys. I'm so glad to see you all. And I want this to be interactive, participate. We have a lot of fun over here. This is very informal. We have a good time. So what I want to start off by saying is, after welcome and thank you, is happy birthday. So for those who don't know me, I love to celebrate birthdays. So happy birthdays to all of those selling birthdays, June, July, August, and September, because we missed you over the summer. And happy anniversary. I love love. So for those that are celebrating anniversaries, engagements, new relationships, happy anniversary to you all. And last but not least is congratulations. Congratulations to those who are starting school, whether it's college, elementary school, those who bought a new home, started a new business, whatever it is, celebrate it. Sometimes, it's hard to get people to celebrate, for you. So you celebrate you. And over here at the Power Shut Up podcast, we're going to celebrate you too. So congratulations for any accomplishments that you've made that we haven't been able to shout you out because we've been off the air since June, but we're back. So we're catching up. So anybody we missed from the half of the month of June to now, congratulations, happy anniversary, and happy birthday. So we have a couple of new things we're going to roll out. I try to do something new every season, but I wanted you all to take a look at something I did. I'm having some fun with this. And of course, you all know the Power Shut Up is just my baby. So I bought this little neon light, and I hope I'm pointing in the right direction because I get it confused. It's kind of hard to see, but I have a neon light that says the power of shut up. And I'm so proud of this. This is my very first logo. I love her. So I actually have a neon light. I'm going to work on doing some other things so we can see it a little better, but she's staying there. Okay. So, welcome her to the background of the Power Shut Up podcast. But what we're going to do is we're going to give you some information on how you can promote on the platform. So we want you all to stay engaged. We want you all to share. We definitely want to see you chatting in the comments, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. But we also want to provide those businesses and people who are having events, people who are doing some wonderful things in their communities all over the world to use our platform as an opportunity to spread the word. So if you're interested in either coming on the show or you're looking for a way to promote your products, promote your event that's coming up or your business, even if you're not a guest, we do have packages that we put together where we as DSM Media, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute, DSM Media, we actually create, as you see the production of the Power Shut Up podcast, we provide these services to other people who are interested in doing something like this or who just want to promote their businesses. So info.dsmmedia@gmail.com is where you can email us if you're interested in being a guest or you're interested in maybe having a commercial run on the show every Thursday. So to let you all know, we come on every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're live on Facebook and YouTube. And we would love to run a commercial with your product or your event so that others can check you out, see what's going on. I do also do random promotion. I support a lot of people. I try to support whoever I can. And I truly support in that if I find a product and I love it, I'm just going to keep shouting it out because why not? I'm not going to keep it to myself. I'm going to share it with others. That's the whole purpose. So I have a random shout out that I will be doing tonight. You all will know that this is a regular shout out I do, and I'll share why. Welcome, Crystal Everett, to the show. I appreciate you tuning in. You all please continue to share with your family and friends and ask them to come on over and hang out with us for an hour or so. And we're going to talk about how we can do better in the area of communication, among other things. So tonight, what I wanted to focus on, because starting next week, we will have a guest join us, is I wanted to talk about the 5 W's. But I tell you what, Shariva's work in the background. Thank you so much, Shariva, for all your hard work. But can you please, we're going to run a commercial right now, give you a minute, don't leave, but share this with your family and friends. And we're going to show a commercial that shows you a little bit about what DSM Media is. So this is DSM Media is who you'll contact for background production on a podcast, flyers, commercials, all kinds of things dealing with social media. So check us out. And we'll come right back and we'll talk about the 5 W's.
Want to grow your brand's reach? We're seeking sponsors like you for our upcoming episodes. Whether you need a custom graphic or full commercial, our creative team can make it happen. Get your brand in front of a dedicated audience today. Let's create something amazing together. Contact DSM Media today to secure your spot.
So there you have it. That's DSM Media. We don't just, do just the podcast. We do a whole lot of things. And I have a couple of surprises for some newbies to the show. So please, you all stay tuned until the end. I love surprising people and I love supporting people. So it's always going to be something good. We are going to do a giveaway. I'm going to share some of my products that I have. So tonight you all can, I don't know if you can actually see, but I have my Power Shut Up shirt on. We actually have t-shirts, we have cups, we have keychains, we have all kinds of things. And we want you to be able to reach out and get, either a copy of the book as well, or we want you to be able to get a cup or whatever it is. So we're going to share some of those things with you, and we're going to be updating some of our websites. I'll also be sharing some of the other platforms that I have besides the Power Shut Up podcast and some of the other things that I'm doing that connect me to being host or being author or being publisher and coach. So please stay tuned. And thank you all so much for your continued support. But let's talk about the 5 W's that I think will help you to understand why we're here on Thursday nights. So let's get the easy ones out the way. So who? It's me, Dr. Lisa Dove Washington. That's who. I'm the host of the Power Shut Up podcast, but I can't do it without my amazing team. And I'm going to share more about the what, where, when, and why, but we're starting off with the who. So thank you so much for tuning in and joining me as Dr. Lisa Dove Washington. I did add doctor to my name, those 2 letters, this June when I graduated and received my honorary doctorate. I'm really excited about it because there's more to come with a lot of things that I'm working on to level up, step up my game. So I've been kind of shy about it, but yeah, Dr. Lisa Dove Washington is the host of the Power of Shut Up podcast. And I hadn't been changing it over to that or using it too much. I've even been outside and somebody said Dr. Washington, and I didn't even turn around because I'm trying to get used to it. But it's a good thing. So thank you so much for the congratulations. I really appreciate it. So we got the who out the way, right? So let's talk about what? The Power Shut Up, the mission. Why are we here? I'm not going to go into the why, but what is communication? So that's what we talk about on the Power Shut Up, among other things. But my lane is really about communication. And we're not just talking about communication in relationships. I'll give a little background of where I came into play with communication, but we're talking about communication on your job with your boss. We're talking about communication with your coworkers. We're talking about communication with your children, grown and young. We know, and I'm speaking from a space where we have millennials. My husband and I have millennials. So we know that can be a difficult space. And I didn't learn all of these lessons about communication back when I was, fussing at my children. So they kind of like, Mom, you're late to the party. But I put some work in. And I want to share the things that I've learned, the things that I've grown from, the lessons that I've, now know better. I want to share that with other people. We're going to talk about communication when it comes to your spouse. The fact that men and women communicate very differently it's a thing. And sometimes we forget about that. So we don't actually try to communicate for understanding. We just actually taking a turn to speak. So what I would like to do is to change the perspective about the word shut up, because shut up was actually something we would never say to our parents. Like if we said those words, we were definitely going to get it. But I'm trying to change the perspective and take some words that maybe are bad and bring some meaning to them. So, and I'll explain more over the season why the power of shut up is very different from me than the power of be quiet. I needed that shut up because I had an issue. And I had to acknowledge the issue to know, and I had to know me, put it that way, because self-awareness is definitely key. I had to know that be quiet might not have worked with me. Okay. So shut up did. And I'll begin to share some things. I'm not going to give you too much because those who are interested in the story and the details, they can grab the book. I share a lot about this journey for me with the power shut up and why I decided that I need to spread the word, because it's a thing. It's a great thing. And it's not what you think it is. I know a lot of people think if you say power shut up, then you're taking people's voices away. That is not what I'm saying at all. But we can talk about it every Thursday. Among getting to know other people who are doing some amazing things in the world, in our communities, because the Power Shut Up podcast has stretched globally. We've had guests as far as India to join us to talk about education. We talk about community service. We talk about the youth come on and they talk about their businesses. And we're going to start this off this season with talking about how to check yourself first. So I think we are all really good at checking other people. Hands up, put your hand up in the air. I know we real good at checking other people. But I decided for season 2, we're going to start inward. We're going to start with self first. And I'll share a little bit more about that when I share with you who our guest is for next week. But I just wanted to give you kind of an idea of what we talk about over here. We really do talk about how to burn those petty files and set those egos aside and start to learn how to communicate better with other people. And that means everybody. This is not subject to just women. It's not subject to just men. I know that, there are all these narratives about women need to watch their mouth and all that. That's not what this party is all about. Okay. That's not what this is about. The power shut up applies to all. Hi, Maritza. Thank you so much for joining. The power shut up applies to everybody, men, women alike. And we can talk about the power shut up because silence is a part of that. Listening is a part of that. And there are pros and cons to all of it. So we need to start to try to understand how each other is communicating so we can all, even if we don't agree, we can all understand each other and walk away from a conversation having gained something on both sides. That's my goal. That's what I'm here to do. And that kind of takes a little bit of the why into perspective, but let's keep going. So we're online every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's where we're going to be. I'm hoping at some point that I'll grow back into in-person, in studio. But when COVID hit, we kind of came over to online and we're able to reach people that we wouldn't have had we been in studio. But I do love in studio, so I haven't given up on that. I wanted to share some of the comments. I see that Business Pro put one of my FY25 strategic goals consists of leveraging effective communication between internal and external stakeholders. So this should be good. I love that. And we need more of that. I think that, everybody thinks that they're a great communicator until when they're communicating, it doesn't go over too well. I was one of those. We tend to think that we got it going on when it comes to communication because we know how to talk, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're good communicators. And that's what we're going to talk about here. So if we can kind of shake off the egos a little bit and do some self-check, I think that we can come out of this better. I know that it changed my life, but I had to start with self and do some checking of me. I had to say, Lisa, what's going on with you? Why are you having a hard time being heard? Why are you feeling like you can't be heard? And it's not always the other person's fault. We're going to talk about that. But I explained the what, the where. I explained the when. We talked about the who. We talked about the what. So I want to get a little bit more into the why. Why are we even doing this? Well, I kind of mentioned it a little bit in that communication is everything. To me, it is. If we can't communicate with each other, we can all have some amazing ideas. We can have some great insight. We have some really good things to talk about. But if you can't deliver the message so it's received, then where are you? Communication is a two-way street. So I try to tell people that, look, it's not just about that you say it, so it's done. It's not over then. Somebody has to receive that message and receive it the way you intended it. Because a lot of times we're speaking to each other, but it's not landing the way you think it is. And what I'm suggesting in communication and my why is that I think that I was guilty of, just like a lot of other people, where we don't listen for understanding. We just listen to take a turn. So have you ever been in a situation where you're having some communication with someone, you're talking to someone, or you're reading an email? We can even put it in print. And immediately after you read it, immediately after you hear it, you're ready to respond. I'm suggesting just a different perspective to take a minute and think about things before you respond. Because I am going to share with you that there have been many times that I went to typing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I was a frog or somebody, and you get to typing. But if you took a minute to go back and read what you were getting ready to respond to, there have been several times when I went back and read it, and it was actually not what I was thinking. And it would have been a really bad situation had I sent what I was getting ready to send. So I'm suggesting that we kind of think about things first. Just take 1 minute to think about it. And we'll get into, as the season grows, some of the other W's that I call the who, what, where, when. We learned that in elementary school, the who, what, where, when, and how, and if. We're going to talk about those things because we need to start asking ourselves some questions before we respond. Like, why are we feeling the need to even respond to this? What's our intent? We need to check our temperature. So we're going to share some tips and some tricks on this show. I wanted to share a comment. Absolutely, listening to respond is one of the most frustrating encounters in the art of communication. Absolutely. We're going to have some fun with this. We're going to, share some scenarios. What would you do? I've talked about this with like on your job, with your children. Have you ever been in a situation, and you can tell when people are not actually listening to you, they're just waiting for a chance to respond? Because have you ever been on a meeting and someone makes a comment or says something, and then the next person speaks and they actually say the same thing, they just say it in a different way? That was somebody waiting for a turn. So we haven't gained anything else. We ain't got no answers, but we got two people that said the same thing. So a lot of times I think the hard part is about control. Because when you know something, or you think you know something, you want to share. You want to be like, hey, I know the answer to that. And a lot of times, even if the answers has already been spoken, you want to go in and say it the way you want to say it. I had to get over that and sometimes say, okay, they've already said the answer. I don't need to say anything. But our ego gets in the way. So we feel like, well, yeah, they said it, but they didn't say it the way I was going to say it. So maybe they missed this little point. So let me say it again. And I think that's where I'm suggesting to get our ego out the way. It's okay to not have something to say. It's okay to give somebody else the opportunity to give the answer. But a lot of times we're not thinking about that. And it's because we're not listening to what's being said. So a lot of times we don't even realize they asked the same exact question. So those are some of the things that we'll talk about. We'll get into the book a little bit, but I do want to encourage you to go out there and get it and check it out. I think some people that are tuning in have a copy of the book, so they can share some things too that they've gained from it. But That's what we'll be talking about all season. The W's, the who, the what, the where, the why, the when. And then when it comes to the power of shut up, if we even need to say anything. What I've learned in my journey with the power shut up is that there's a lot of times that I was speaking on things and I didn't even need to say anything. I didn't really have nothing to say, but I just had to get it in. I had to be part. You want people to know you there. You want people to know you know something. I get it. I get it. But when we are able to start to check our own emotions, our own temperature, our own feelings about things, we can be okay with not having something to say all the time. So what I'm going to do real quick, and yes, we will give you the book link. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to give some credit to my husband, but don't y'all tell him. Don't tell him. But when I wrote The Power Shut Up, he was thinking, yes, okay, I get it. A lot of my family and friends were probably surprised when they said Lisa is talking about shutting up. Lisa always got something to say. It's true. But I had to get out of my own way and really kind of embrace what he was telling me. So, you've been in a restaurant where the service might not be as good. They're not, coming to the table as often as you'd like, whatever it is. And so you get to complaining, you get to fussing. And, my husband, giving him credit, he was one of those that would say, you don't have to say everything that comes to your head. I didn't want to give it to him then, but I can give it to him now and be okay with it. But he's right. And we all need to get there. We don't have to say everything that comes to our head. It's not even a good thing to do that. I know that we're in an era where we feel like we can say whatever we want to say. And who gonna check me, boo, right? Well, I'm kind of checking people a little bit in a loving way because I was checked as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about how I was checked. And literally it was somebody told me to shut up. They told me to shut up. You talking too much. And of course, I did what typically people would do if you tell them to shut up. I did the neck roll. But I had to take a minute. I had to think about what they were saying to me. And I checked the source. That's why I'm saying that you got to take a minute to think about the source. You got to think about what's really being said. And it took me a minute. I'm not even going to lie. It took me a minute because it was not immediate. That was like, oh, that's coming from a place of love. It was like, no, who is you talking to? But I have 3 people that I continue to thank for checking me. And we need those people in our life. My husband was the 4th one because he keep me in check. He keep me in check. He was like, hey, you ain't got to do all of that. It took me a minute because I know how we're strong-willed. Sometimes we got something to say, we're going to say it. But I'm here to suggest that in those moments, we should learn how to check ourselves. Sometimes it's absolutely not necessary. And there's nothing to gain from what you're about to say. But there's some questions and a series of questions and things you should ask yourself before you even say anything out of your mouth. And what I discovered was I was more often than not, once I learned the lesson, choosing not to say anything. And I gained so much more because I didn't work myself up. I wasn't stressed. I didn't have any anxiety over, oh my gosh, they don't know. Things kind of went full circle and other people did or said what I was getting ready to say. So it didn't have to come out of my mouth. I didn't have to be the bad guy. There's a lot of pluses to sometimes just thinking before you speak. And now I'm even better at checking myself, even when I'm not perfect at it, because I am by no means am I saying that we're going to master the power shut up. I'm a work in progress every day, and I don't get it right all the time. Y'all should know y'all live in the same world I live in. I don't get it right all the time. But when I don't get it right, I can check myself and say, you know what? You could have done that better. That was unnecessary. And then the next step is when you put those egos aside that I talked about, after you've burned those petty files, put that ego aside, you can go back and apologize because you didn't have to respond that way. That was unnecessary. It doesn't mean that what you had to say wasn't valid, but maybe it's the way you said it. And I know I'm going to step out on a ledge here, and I'm not suggesting that we're all going to agree, but tone matters. It does, to me anyway. It absolutely matters the tone in which you speak to me. So for those who don't like to be tone policed and things like that, I'm just saying to open your mind, try to be open to different perspectives, and let us talk about how tone can matter. And I'm suggesting that where you are when you're speaking matters. Where you are physically, where you are mentally, all of that matters when you get ready to say whatever it is you're about to say. And we need to start to check ourselves before we put that out in the atmosphere. Because guess what? Once you speak it, it's gone. You can't take it back. And there's no guarantees that what you didn't mean to say or you only meant to say in that moment, that they're going to forgive you later. So empowering perspective says relationships sometimes require us to take risk. If we are bold enough to do so, the potential reward is astronomical. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I'm suggesting is be bold enough to say whatever it is on your mind, but make sure that you're going to receive something positive out of this exchange. What I've started to do in the area of communication is take a moment to think about, what am I going to gain? What am I going to lose? And this comes with your relationships, whether it's your husband or your wife or a best friend. What am I going to lose by what I'm about to say? Are you ready for what's about to happen based on what you're going to say? It doesn't mean you're wrong. You just need to take those things in consideration and be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, put them steel-toe boots on and be ready for it. Because the truth can hurt. And I say that because I experienced it when somebody told me to shut up. I mean, I ain't had my steel-toe boots on. So it hurt a little bit. It stung. But special shout out, as I'll continue to do. Shout out to my mom, first and foremost, because she was the one who told me, you are blocking your blessings because you're jumping in the way. And sometimes we're a distraction to what's supposed to happen because we just had to say it. We had to say it first. We had to point it out. And I had to learn that. So thank you to my mom. Yeah, that's my supporter. She got me. Yeah, it hurt. It stung because I'm like, well, Mom, I'm trying to, point something out. And I realized that I was probably more in the way than not. So that was one lesson. I also had Gail Crowder. If you all don't know her, I am also part of her production team. She has a TV show that we're working on called Dr. Gail on Love, Sex, and Marriage. And it's about putting marriages together and keeping them together. So I'm excited about being part of that production team. But Gail was actually the first person that told me to shut up. And I know this sounds strange, but thank you, Gail. Thank you for telling me to shut up. It started something amazing in my life, and my whole entire family and friends have benefited from it. So I thank you. The third person that I will continue to thank for keeping this perspective in line with my faith was Stacy Lattisaw. For those who are my age, I'm sure you know who she is. I don't have to say, but she is also a part of this journey for me. She actually, we took it to the Bible, and we found spaces, or she shared with me, should I say, spaces or passages in the Bible where it talked about the tongue and the power shut up and how we're using our voices and things like that. And I mean, those three in that combination, that three punch, was enough to shut me down and make me think about how I was moving, what was coming out of my mouth. Let alone the fact that the first, and what I'm saying about this season is we're going to start with self, is I first had to start with how I'm talking to myself. What am I saying to myself? Because a lot of times we talking raggedy to ourselves, and that's why we can't get it together when we're talking to other people. Because if you're not talking good to you, I don't know how you and where you get it from that you can talk, positive to other people. And as I started to go through some changes, those three people came into my life and shared some things with me. And I went through some health situations that shut my voice all the way down. I learned some things. This was not a quick journey. It wasn't an easy journey. More to come with this story. The book shares a lot of those details, but it got me in line with some things that helped to change my life. in the way I communicate with people, in the way I communicate with myself, in the way I communicate with my children. And we're going to talk about those things. When I released the book in 2019, we had some book readings and we talked about the power shut up. I had some people host it and we got into the nitty gritty about how we're communicating with our husbands and wives. And I was a yeller as a mom, because we got single moms out here sometimes that are communicating and hollering and screaming at the kids. And I'm being very transparent. I was fussing and hollering because I was I felt like, you didn't hear me on level 2, so let me just take it to 10 and save us both some time. How about that? And I say that jokingly, but I had to check myself on some things. Now, we're empty nesters now, and our children are all 20 and up, but I do have a grandson. So, of course, they're kind of like, Ma, you're a little late to the party. I am, but I got there. But it prepares me for communicating with my grandson. This is a different world we're living in. So I'm just encouraging us to continue these conversations. This is what the Power Shut Up podcast is going to be about. We're going to talk about listening. We're going to talk about the silent treatment. It could be a good thing, and silence can be a great thing. It could be very empowering, but it also can be used as a weapon. And we want to talk about that, because just because you shut down and decide to be quiet, it depends on how you're using that silence, whether it's a good or a bad thing. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how men perceive what we say versus what we really mean, and vice versa, because we communicate very differently. And if we don't understand that, we will constantly run into barriers in our communication with each other. So awareness is key. We got to know where we're not, maybe communicating our best. I know for me, the power shut up happened in my marriage, and I had to actually think about what I was saying and how he was translating it. And because we talk about self, if you think you're a good communicator, you like, well, it's not my problem. They didn't hear it right. Y'all heard that. You say something and you feel like, I did my job. I said what I had to say. It ain't my fault that you took it that way. I'm suggesting that we got to take ownership in that space too. This is a two-way street. You can't just say it and then you don't care how it landed. If your mission is to be understood, then we got more work to do. So that's what we're here for. So we're going to take another commercial break. And I'm going to use this moment to shout out, because those who don't know and haven't tuned in, I'm also a publisher. I have a company called Touched by Dove Publishing. And we not only do I publish my own books, I'll show you some of those, but we also have clients who have published poetry books and other books that have been self-care, self-help. So we like to congratulate them. We like to support them and celebrate them. So we have our latest client who released her romantic poetry book called Wholeheartedly in Love. So we like to do a short snippet so you can check her out. Her book is actually on Amazon currently in digital and paperback. But check this out and then go check her book out. Hold on. Yeah. So shout out to Shadana. She is our latest client. She released her poetry book. We're so proud of her. So congratulations. So yes, I have a publishing company called Touched by Dove Publishing. So that's one of my other platforms. I also have an online magazine for those who want to check it out. You can go to dovestylemagazine.org and check out my online magazine. It has been online since it's been 11 years now. So we've changed over the years, but we celebrated 10 years, I think a couple of years ago, and actually started an awards program. I haven't been able to do it because life be lifing, but we have an awards program that we work on, try to do it annually, but we haven't been able to push it off if not this year, definitely next year, but it's called Hidden Treasures. And to share a little bit about who I am as a person. So everything that I'm working on, or every platform that I have or business that I have, is really about giving back, and it's about enlightening, empowering, and inspiring others. And Dove Style Magazine has been global for years. We've had people hack the site. We've started from scratch and got back on it. We have some amazing editorials. We have some amazing articles. We've had some wonderful contributing writers. I love the fact that I've been able to provide a byline for people who love to write. So please go on over there and check it out. We're going to be revamping some things, and more to come with that. But check out dovestylemagazine.org. We would love for you to go over there and read. And my website, which we'll also be working on too, to keep it up to date, and so that you can purchase some of the products, is lisadovewashington.com. So we're going to urge you to go over to the website, check it out. We're going to try to keep you posted on the things that are going on as far as events that I may be attending or speaking at. And I'm a crafter. So for those who don't know, I know I'm doing a whole lot of stuff over here, but I'm a crafter. I love crafting. So at times I'm vending at events, and I'm going to share that as well. So please stay connected. Visit our pages. I'll also remind you before we leave here today, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I just want to give you some insight on what we're going to be doing this season. And we actually are going to, I think we're going to introduce. So I told you all, I love to surprise you. Every season we try to do something a little different, a little fun. I have been posting some things out there, so some of you may have figured it out. But we decided that we want to get in with, the young folks are out here doing some things, and I know they have the AI and all that, but we developed a new character that we want you to resonate with. So when you see I'm Lisa 2.0, hey, Lisa girl, I'm looking the wrong way. Y'all don't judge me. But when you see I'm Lisa 2.0, know that that's the Power Shut Up lady, okay? And we're going to share tips. We're going to share tricks. We're going to share all kinds of information, but we want you to recognize her. So I want to thank Shariva, who's behind the scenes, always doing the daggone thing. That's my girl right there. She created this character for me in my likeness, okay? I was definitely like, okay, I'm going natural and I'm embracing my gray, so she just got to be me. So this is Lisa 2.0, and I'm going to have some fun with her. So if you see her, know it's me. So we wanted to introduce you to her for this kickoff of season 2, but we also wanted to do a tip every week when we come on. So we have a tip for you that I want to talk about real quick, and for the Power Shut Up. And the tip is check your emotional temperature before you respond. It can help to avoid misunderstandings. It's not always about you. That's the tip for tonight, and I just wanted to share. That's what I learned in going through this journey to get to the Power Shut Up. It's not always about us. A lot of times when we hear people say things, or they send us an email or whatever, we immediately go to self. How they talking about me? What they mean by that? If you're responding that way, I'm suggesting that you check yourself, because it might not have anything to do with you. They could be venting about somebody else you don't even know. So let's take a minute before we respond, because we're ruining our relationships by responding too quickly without thinking about it. And you all can probably think of at least one relationship where you responded too quickly, took it the wrong way, and then what happens? Our egos get in the way and we don't go back and say, I'm sorry. I'm trying to stop that before it happens. The other part of this is that we can't take back what we say. And there are people of all ages in this world who are still suffering and hurting because of something someone said to them when they were 5, 6, 7 years old. And they are 40, 50, 60 years old now and still haven't gotten over it. So we got to do better. And I'm here to help. I'm part of that crew. So we got to remember, words matter. What you say to people, they hold on to that. They might not always tell you, they might not always show you, but words matter, and some people carry that to their graves. So we got to do better about how we're communicating, because sometimes we didn't even mean what we said. We just didn't think about it before we said it. And now our pride is too big. So, oh, they know I didn't mean that, or I only meant it for that moment. Let's not do that. Let's do better. Let's think about it first, and then maybe not even say it at all. So that's what we're here to have a good time with. I have appreciated you all coming on here. We're going to actually take another commercial break before we have a couple of surprises. So I think, Shariba, I have a couple of announcements of things that are going on this weekend. We'll show that first. I'm actually receiving an award on Sunday. So I wanted to shout out Dr. Teresa. Dr. Teresa Mosley has an event. She does it every year. It's called Passion, Purpose, and Peace. It's a virtual summit this year, but she also has an award program that she's doing. It's a brunch on Sunday, and I am honored to be receiving the Passion, Purpose, Peace Award from Her Excellency, Dr. Teresa Mosley. So I'm excited about that. That's happening this Sunday. So I wanted to make sure I shout Dr. Teresa out. Please check her out. She is all about peace in this world. She travels all over the world, spreading peace and helping people to find that peace. Some people are lost. So that's what Dr. Teresa is doing. So shout out to her. That's what I'll be doing this weekend. I think we did, Shariba, I'm not sure if I missed anything. Oh, yes. Thank you so much. So I wanted to show to you all real quick, because I said I was a publisher. So let me show you something real quick, because this is from the publishing company. This is the Power Shut Up. So for those of you that have a minute, not now, we want you to stay tuned in just for a minute. But this is the Power Shut Up. This on Amazon, I believe on Barnes and Noble as well. Check it out. This is my baby. And I will say that I had the amazing opportunity to release my book on a billboard in Times Square. It's a moment that I'll never forget. So one of the reasons that I love writing, I love the publishing. I fell in love with the whole process when I published this book. I've been writing all my life, and I've always wanted to write. I've written books and entered competitions with writing since I was in elementary school. So things went full circle. It's amazing how God works. You never know. So keep going is what I say. I also, under my publishing company, released a collaboration book, and it's called Unleash Your Superpower. And in this book, we have authors, including myself, 6 extraordinary stories of discovering and accepting the power within. This is also on Amazon, I believe Barnes and Noble. You can check it out. There's 6 authors on here. We also were able to have this book released on a billboard in Times Square. So I was excited to be able to give that opportunity to the co-authors of this book, because it was my first time doing a collaboration. And I want to share that this was my very first children's book, and it's called When Gigi Meets Cam. So those who follow my social media know that I have a special, special love for my grandson. And so we actually started this Cam Capers series. This is the very first book that starts when I first met Cam in the hospital. And what I've used this Cam Capers series is, what I'm using it for is to capture all the moments that we share with this young man. I am just in love with this little boy. He is my heart. He makes me smile, and we have plenty to share. So the latest book that's coming out is called Cam's Favorite Things. So I'm excited to release this book, and there's actually another one. So the character that you're seeing is something that Shariba has created along with this character who's going to be Cam. So I'm excited about what's to come with all the books that we'll be publishing. Congratulations to all my clients who are publishing their books and living out their dreams. I love being a part of this journey, and we support them in every way we can. So good things coming. And thank you so much for the congratulations. I see Business Pro said nice. And Lisa said, love the graphics. So shout out to Shariba. She's behind the scenes, making sure that I don't miss a beat. while I'm live on here, but she is our graphic artist, not only for the Power Shut Up, the flyers, the commercials, the videos. We work together with that. But Shariva is the graphic artist for my publishing company. So she has created these characters. She's created the graphics for the books. She creates the graphics for all of the books for my clients. She is amazing at what she does, and we will definitely be shouting Shariva out on the show because she has her own businesses. She doesn't share it that much, but I'm gonna put it out there because that's what I do. Shariva has skills, yes, and I'm blessed to have her and my entire team. So hey, if you're looking for a publishing company, check us out. It's Touched by Dove Publishing as well. You can find us out there. So I love the people that I've connected with to help other people live out their dreams. So really quick, before we have what we call a TikTok moment, and I'll tell you a little bit about that and a surprise. So for those that are on, please don't tune off yet, because I think I have a surprise that some of you will be caught off guard about, but in a good way. So for those who will be interested in reaching out for products with the Power Shut Up, I have, and I'm just going to show you a few of the things that I have. We have coasters for the Power Shut Up. This is actually my second logo. The lady that you see in the back, is kind of hard to see her, but that's my very first logo. But we also have this logo because some of the men were saying, hey, we don't necessarily want to wear the lady on the shirt, but can you do us a logo? So this is a logo. We have coasters for your cups. We have keychains. So we have some really cute little keychains. So when we do giveaways and things like that, these are some of the things we give away. We have some, what I call rubber jewelry, the Power Shut Up. We have pins. And sometimes when we do little giveaways, we actually have these great little boxes that we put some goodies in when we mail things off to everybody. And they give you some nice little messages. Think first before you speak. And I think this says it's time to burn those petty files. So we have some cool things. We also have, I showed you my shirt. So we have some bling. These are the shirts for the women, but we have the Power Shut Up in black. We have the red with the silver bling. We have tank tops, and they're the red with the black. So we're trying to do a little something over here. I have some other new products that will be coming. And these are the kind of things that we'll give away. Or if you win a book, sometimes we'll throw something in there. So please stay connected with us. Stay tuned. I do want to do one giveaway tonight. So what we decided before we do the TikTok moment is we have a word of the evening. So the word of the evening for the very first show of the Power Shut Up season 2 is kerfuffle. The first person that can tell me what kerfuffle means, don't go to Google, but if you can tell me, the very first person in the chat that tells me what the definition of kerfuffle is going to win a signed copy of The Power of Shut Up. So I'm going to give you all a minute. While you're doing that, we're going to get prepared for a random shout out. But I'm looking for the definition of kerfuffle. And I have a feeling that you all are Googling the definition. But the reason that I'm doing a word of the evening is because part of communication is your vocabulary, right? So I love words. And when I say I love words, I love words. So I feel like that learning new words to use is a great thing. So kerfuffle is the word, and I'm looking for anyone to put the definition. I think empowering perspective said stat. Can you get a little bit more? Can you give me a little bit more? Just a little bit more. I think you know. I thought of a cuss word initially. Lisa said it does sound like it's a ooh yeah, but I think I'm disqualified because we've had this conversation. Absolutely, Business Pro. Don't you say a word. Thank you so much for being honest. See, there's good people around me. But give me the definition. Confusion. Okay, it's an argument. We do it all the time in the government. You know what? Lisa and Empowering Perspectives, you both will get a signed copy of the Power Shut Up because you're both on point, but that is hilarious. It's like an argument we all do. And I'm not going to say no more about that comment, but I know exactly what you're talking about. So congratulations to you both. Please, Sharif, you show them the email address. Please send us your information to the email address and we will drop a copy of the Power Shut Up book in the mail for you so you can check it out. So info.dsmmedia@gmail.com. Empowering Perspective said, give mine to Crystal. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for y'all support. So, and y'all stay seated because I have a surprise for you all. So I wanted to do a random shout out real quick before we do our TikTok moment. So I told you that I support businesses that are out here doing amazing things. I have been supporting this young lady for years. And I want to share her with you. So if you all are in the business of planning things, you know, we all have busy lives and we need planners, we need journals, we need things that keep us in line, keep us focused on what's going on. So there is something called the Aravista Planner. And this young lady, her name is Grace, and she has developed a planner that she releases every year. And the packaging is absolutely amazing. So let me show you real quick before we go into our TikTok moment. But every year I purchase these planners for my entire team because I love her presentation. I love planners and journals because I'm a writer. But every year she changes the pattern of her planners, and it's always a African print that she uses on her planner. So here's the packaging, these beautiful blue boxes. She puts the year, and she actually has a new, it's every year it's something different. So this year is 2025 and it's renew. These planners are absolutely amazing, and they're not just planners. These are planners that keep you on board. I mean, keep you on track as far as your life, your business, your mental. So I'm going to continue to support her. She doesn't know I'm doing this, but I buy these. I actually picked orange this year, but she usually has 4 different colors. The patterns are absolutely amazing. I think she uses patterns that she pulls from Ghana, and it's called the Aravista Planner. If you are looking for a great planner or a gift to give someone, please consider. I buy these for, I think it's 4 or 5 people on my team. Every year I buy these for Christmas, give these to them so that we can prepare for the next year. But this is something that they can keep with them to take care of their own schedules, their own businesses. And I support this young lady because she put her heart and soul into this. She does an amazing job. And when you sign up and get this planner, she also has weekly meetings where she has speakers come in. She shows you how to use this. This is not just something you pick up and write in. There's all kinds of things in this planner that help you to schedule not only your meetings and things like that, but very empowering. She has messages in here. It's an amazing thing that you all need to check out. So I am doing a special shout out to her. I bought mine a little early, so my team might be a little mad at me. But you all need to pick out your colors so you can get yours too. But that was my random shout out. And now I want to share with you a TikTok moment. We always have a TikTok moment because I'm a people watcher. My husband and I sit out on TikTok and look at some of the funny stuff. Some of it ain't so funny. But there's some great messages, fun, informative. And I try to pull something to kind of highlight and show off somebody else that's doing some amazing things out there in TikTok land. So I have a special TikTok moment that I would like to share. Thank you all for sharing this positive message. And then I have a question that I will ask after every show. I'm going to ask to take you into the weekend. So let's show that TikTok moment, and then we'll come right back with the question. So I hope that was a pleasant surprise, but I saw it and I thought it was perfect to end the Power Shut Up podcast, very first season. And just to let you know that I absolutely appreciate the support. You all have been great. You know who you are. Check out the Mindset Coach, and there's some other people that are part of that. Lisa's in here. But please support these people that you see. Just go check out their pages, see what they're talking about. I think that if you go visit, you'll find that these things are going to enlighten you, they're going to inspire you, and they're going to empower you to your next. And that's what we're about. So we love connecting with people who are about that as well. So with that being said, I thank you all for joining us. And I have a question for you before we say goodnight. My question to you, and at the end of every show, is: will you use your words to hurt or to help? I choose help. I choose heal. Think about it and come back next Thursday. Let's talk about it again. Meet our special guest, Sean Lasure, who will be bringing it straight with no chaser. And it's going to be all about check yourself before you wreck yourself. So until next Thursday, have a wonderful weekend and behave yourself and speak kindly to others and to yourself.
That's a big question.